Welcome along, boys, and yeah, it's gonna be a race day for the first time since the summer break, effectively. And welcome back to Aether Racing on Twitch for yet another incredible Sunday of racing. We are in Pittsburgh International Race Park in Pennsylvania, USA, for the first round of the Winter GTE series, hosted by our good friends SimRacingOnline.co.uk. Of course, the home of virtual motorsports. If you are a fan of R Factor 2 and Assetto Corsa Comp, especially, but also Automobilista 2. So be sure to check them out. We will be racing Pittsburgh, as I was saying, a track that we go into for the first time. A 4.47 kilometers racetrack situated in the USA. Of course, inaugural round of this winter series. I know it's still summer, but it's a series of 8 rounds that it's gonna stretch all the way till December 2022. So buckle up, hold tight, and let's make it a good show. I am joined by Nassim Alawi and Ricardo Riva, my good friends. Of course, a big shout out to Sam, who is directing the broadcast today. How are you guys?
Oh, I'm doing well. Lorenzo. What a series! What's going up ahead of us? Can't wait to see the action that's gonna happen. Obviously, we did many series before, but this one, man, it's looking pretty good. I don't know about you, Ricardo. What do you think about this?
Yeah, really well. Thank you, Nas. Think it's going to be a really fun series. GTEs are really fun to drive, and the new update of our Factor made this car even more tricky to drive. The only thing I'm not sure about this race, if I have to be honest, is the track because I made a couple of laps before the streaming. It's not the best track I ever drove on. I've never drove on. Not the best track, but let's see. I think these guys can really pull out a good show today.
So, as we were saying, Pittsburgh is the first round of this 8-round event series. Of course, 4th of September 2022. Next, we go for a double header into the USA with Detroit Belle Isle. A great track to be in, very fun, hosted by the IMSA series many times. Then we go to Mid Ohio, which is a very technical track. I wonder how the cars will behave here. And then we move to Europe for the first time, to Maastricht, and then Marina Bay. We go back to Europe on the 13th of November in the Autodromo di Monza in Italy. Then we go back to the USA for the final doubleheader of the season with the VIR and the Circuit of the Americas at Austin. What a calendar this is!
Oh, indeed, man. I'm looking forward to all the tracks. Actually, all of them are looking great. Obviously, tracks. I would say from my personal experience I've been on, and some of them I've seen them on TV like everyone else. Man, I'm a big fan of these choice. I think the track choice was on point, and hopefully the drivers think the same.
So we have more than 20 drivers signed up for the series, of course. Very famous names like John Vitigas, Didier Coelho, Barrett Ericsson, Tanner Selby as well. Good to see him back in the fight. Paulo Rodriguez from Atlantic Sim Racing, Nick Newcomb, and Johnny Gutierrez, of course. Johnny Gutierrez being the champion, back-to-back champion, in fact, from the GT3 series in IMSA and also from the FIA GT1 series that we hosted back this summer. Great to see so many people lining up for this amazing field. Tony Talvice, one of them as well. Then we see the Middleton family coming up in style with Lewis, Nigel, and Carr for Ace Motorsport. We also see new faces like Jonas Lagesson, which I don't remember seeing in our Factor 2, and of course our good friend Gilles da Silva, which I hope he gets good results. And of course Carl Stagg and Matt Horst, the new faces from Stagg Autosport. Stephen Wenham as well as Ulas Gungor. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, Ulas. And yeah, look at this. Michael Abel for Bracket Kings Racing, Miguel Santos, Rob Milliken, Joe Brown, Lorenzo Bettini, new face from Italy. Good to see him get into the R Factor scene here on Sim Racing Online. Victor Suto, Oli Batterson, another great driver for Ace Motorsport. And last but not least, Peter Williamson for Hex Sim Racing. He will team up with Joe Brown, in fact, which is one hell of a lineup.
Oh man, indeed. And before we go further ahead, I have some small thing to pronounce, which is that De Silva is responsible for the livery you will be seeing on John Vidigest. So want to give him a shout out for that because he might not be present today, but if he was, he still gets a free shout out.
Yeah, and I mean, Gil da Silva was the one who won the livery contest back in the GT1, pulling out some really good stuff. So I think he will show us something very good next day, next time.
We will be switching to qualifying in a couple of seconds. Pittsburgh International, what a tricky track for the GTE cars.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've ever been on this track. Have we been on this track as a team, Lorenzo?
No, it's the first time we ever see it featured on any championship, really. And I'm looking forward because it's a very technical track, a very big changes in altitude as well. So, and the rain is expected in the middle of the race as well. So, it's surely going to be a hectic competition here today.
Oh yeah. It's looking, the elevation is definitely looking not as we normally see. I mean, we have Spa, which is going up and down. This is looking something we haven't seen before.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, qualifying starting as we speak now, 15 minutes in which the drivers will head out on the track and put their best effort possible to try and find all the milliseconds and just the right amount of space, harassing the curbs and everything. Look at that livery on the Porsche.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna see a lot of creativity following up this series, and especially in this particular race.
Absolutely. So you were talking about the truck, guys. One of the things that I was most impressed by this truck is that every corner is like a blind corner. So it's gonna be really hard to drive about 1 hour and so around this truck because you can see from this onboard. Look at how blind are these corners. Look at this. How much up and downs are on this truck. It's gonna be really really tricky to drive and this truck, as you can see, is tight as hell, so it's gonna be really, really difficult to try to make a move around this truck.
Oh, indeed, Ricardo. It's as you talked about blind spots. That's definitely a thing that's gonna play out. And I don't know if this kind of races go at night. I'm not sure. Probably Lorenzo can
I
correct
don't think so, but because it's rain is predicted in the middle of the race, so I don't think we're going to use night-day cycle, not this time.
Yeah, but still the track element. I mean, obviously we don't know it that much, but you can see those long apexes that could be used as a reference, but still they could come at you suddenly, especially if you're fighting. I mean, look at this downhill going down to a long straight. You can definitely see the corner from here. But the way other corners are looking, I mean, look at this. You don't know where it's gonna go left or right until you go a little bit down. Then you see the right corner, obviously top down, flat out, and then there comes the hairpin all the way up. It's definitely a tricky track, I would say.
Yeah, it's not usual for these cars to go around the track with these with these corners, and I wonder what will be the car that adapts the best. Obviously, also the drivers, because driver does make the difference. As we see a Ferrari getting slightly out of shape. We now switch to Lorenzo Bettini in the Golf Porsche, of course, iconic livery used by our good friend Will Calegari in the Turkey Grand Prix back when we streamed the S397 Endurance Series. Shout out to Will. Lorenzo Bettini will encounter traffic. Look at this section.
Indeed. Now, Lorenzo, I have to ask you, and you have to answer me honestly. Are you in favor of Lorenzo Bettini to get a quali this season?
I mean, as much as I love the name Lorenzo and I love Italy, which is my country, and of course I think Lorenzo is from there as well, no, I'm going to be impartial and I'm going to hope that the best, regardless of who it is, takes the pole position. As we see, Lorenzo Bettini, as a matter of fact, making a purple first sector. And,
I think he heard you, Lorenzo.
Yeah, and
He's
look at
taking it
that.
personally. It's a purple.
It's gonna be tricky to see who the faster driver is. Look at this picture here.
Ooh, he's got traffic.
He's got traffic, but he made another great time in the central sector. Another purple purple time, and I wonder how the cars in front of him are hurting under the grip of the Porsche going into the final section.
We see him going up the hill, sliding a little bit there as he goes up. I think he's about to cross the start-finish line right here. Surely it's going to put him at the top of the lead, provisionally right now.
Oh, and there's a Corvette spinning in front of him.
Yeah, I think they... ooh, look at that. Corvette right there. Ooh, getting that cone out of the way. Probably they're going to need that anymore. And that's going to trigger a yellow, but the yellow is not going to mean you have to slow down. But if you cause an incident, obviously, it'll be looked at after the race, indeed.
Big spun there.
Absolutely. I think he's still, yeah, he's still standing there in the, he went back. Because there's a rule that I should have mentioned before. You cannot escape, which means you cannot, in the middle out of nowhere, click escape and go back. It has to be, to add a little bit of realism, you have to go back to the pit lane, to your garage, stop right there, get a new set of tires, then go back. I mean, you can escape next to your garage, but you cannot escape in the middle of the track. It's rules that have been added, and hopefully other drivers have read that, because failing to follow that rule can give you a penalty.
Indeed, and we see Peter Williamson now not being able to match the initial lap time that we saw as we now switch to the replay. This is an on-board from Peter Williamson. I wonder, look at how stable the car is, and look how he has to kind of guess where the apex is with a lot of I would say mechanical memory, or motion memory for these drivers to try and find the best possible line through these blind corners. What do you think, Rick?
Yeah, as I said, the most difficult part of this track is that you really don't see much of the apex you are going to approach. So it's going to be hard to keep the concentration, the focus during all the race. Look at this, for example. You have to throw the car in, trusting that you are on the good line, which is going to be tricky especially for the overtakes, because you may not have the confidence to throw the car in because you have to keep your line. As we can see, you have not much braking zones, hard braking zones, or other things. So to me, it's going to be the move. You have to do the move with the strategy on this track, which is going to be the thing to see.
I mean, that literally reminds me of an old team I used to be with, and I'm still with actually, but it's kind of very reminding of that team. Yeah, the car though is very stable. It reminds me of the GT3 Corvette, the C7 we have there. It's really stable as this one, it looks like it, but I haven't driven it for a while, so things might have changed. But definitely the driver, Peter, to not take away from him, is doing a great job making that car as stable as it is, to not take away the effort done by the driver right here, by Peter, as he doesn't improve in his first sector and he keeps going for his second sector.
Tony Taldice then, not surprising, I must say, takes first position provisionally with a 134.2. Bettini is the closest competitor at about 9/10 of a second. In P2, we see Tony now getting out of the pits.
I mean, Tony is a man to watch out for, Lorenzo, don't you think?
Yeah, I think absolutely. It was one of the main competitors in the GT1 series. Of course, a bit of bad luck struck him in both Brno and Spa, where he had mechanical problems. And then in Spa, he was one of the victims of Eau Rouge, as a matter of fact. If you guys missed that race, it was an absolute thriller. Check SimRacingOnline on YouTube, because they have all the stream reposted there, and be sure to like their content, because they're very, very passionate about it. And go check them out. We see Matt Horst now with that beautiful Porsche. I must say that livery reminds me of the Proton Dempsey car. In fact, it is.
Yeah,
it is Dempsey Proton Racing. I actually was right about that. Matt Horst with an incredible P3 for now. I think it's the first time I see Matt Horst here, and he is improving. In fact, he's recorded personal best first and second sector as we speak.
Yeah, I mean, his sector 2 is almost as matching Tony Talviti, so definitely looking forward to this lap.
Let's see how he can do. Last corner approaching now. As we go towards the front straightaway, a bit of a left-handed end before the front straightaway. 135.7. That puts him third. He improved by a small amount towards his previous time, but it's not enough to worry Tony Talvice, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Talvice, he's on another planet right now. A 34 too right now, putting up.
Oh, and Nick Newcomb here making good progress, but he was compromised by Michael Labelle, which is probably recording his own lap.
I mean, I don't understand why they're fighting in the middle of the qualifying right now.
Yeah, we see the first battle, effectively.
Yeah, I think Nick won't be happy about that. He seemed to be in a good lap because he was getting better the first sector. I don't see.
Yeah,
I think it was agree. He was improving in the first sector, so unlucky, bit unlucky.
Very unlucky indeed for Nick Newcomb. Of course, he has time for a couple of time laps. 136.6. That is surely not his ideal target time. Barrett Ericsson on his outlap. So I'm not sure what happened to Barrett, but he recorded a very slow 136.3 lap earlier, and he probably went back into the pits and probably loaded a different setup or changed his tires, and is now looking forward to start his attempt right now as we speak. He crosses the line, comes up to the first corner, a very tricky left-hander. We ride on board with Barrett Ericsson on the beautiful Ferrari 488.
I don't know about you guys, but I think that no matter what time Barrett Ericsson pulls in his qualifying, doesn't really matter that much, because we all know Barrett Ericsson is a strategical man. He definitely strikes where he will never think he will strike you. Definitely,
of course, we saw it previously many times. Ericsson not starting from a great position, but then on race pace he was the man to watch out for. So let's see how he does. I'm surprised that Coelho and Wenham are yet to set up a lap.
Yeah, they're sitting in their garage right now. I don't know what they're waiting for. They haven't set. They set a lap actually. They probably cannot go out, as we hear now.
Unlucky. And guys, if I can speak, I mean it's strange to see that Gutierrez and Newcomb, which was two of the guys who were the fastest with the GT1 series, are now struggling in the back of the top, because they are 7th and 8th place. And Talvice is still instead is still the fastest guy, the guy to beat. So pretty much curious about that.
Yeah, you said it. Gutierrez improves on his lap time, and he's now P3.
I want your crystal ball right now, Ricardo.
Yeah, I know. So this lap is my. I can't remember. I don't know what to say. I don't have the word right now.
I mean, I don't think we have the word for Gutierrez, because he was all the way down to P7 and now he's P3. Yeah. That was a lap of his life, I would say, but still nobody's getting close. As Tony Talvice improved once again, 34-1. Man on a different planet right now, literally.
He's 1 second clear from Lorenzo Bettini and Johnny Gutierrez, which of course they are proving to be, Lorenzo Bettini proving to be very quick indeed, as he sets up for a personal best and best of the rest. Second sector, purple second sector, is now approaching the last corner. I wonder how his time will look like.
Ooh, definitely he's gonna look good. Ooh, very close.
Very interesting lap, because he's now only 4/10 of Tony Talvice, so Tony Talvice will be feeling the pressure, I'm sure. Bettini with a great lap.
I mean, he's the second driver to cross the 35 mark. Now he's in the 34.6. There's only 2 drivers right now.
He's improving too, because we saw some people doing very improving their lap time. So probably the grip of the truck is improving. So look at
And a bit
Bettini
of
using all the
misunderstanding there as
I hate to see
Bettini
that.
gets a bit compromised by one of the Ferraris. I think that was Thomas Holsel.
Oh,
yeah,
he
but
got
in
I don't know. It seemed like Bettini was trying to use all the draft he can and moved
Yeah,
out
but he
in
did
the
not
last.
improve. He's in the yellow zone for the
Yeah,
first sector. He's not going to be happy about that.
Yeah, that's about 4 tenths out of what Tony Talviti did in the sector one. So definitely in a lap to
Right,
avoid,
served
probably.
very hard
and Bettini
indeed,
is really
Lorenzo.
on the edge.
He has 1 minute left. I think it's going to be just enough for him to take another timed effort, but he surely has to watch out for traffic. Yeah, look at him. He's setting up the exit for the last part of the track. Goes
Yeah.
through the entrance of the pit lane, goes through the left-handed bend, and we're now off for a lap with Lorenzo Bettini.
He was trying to slingshot.
Oh, what happened
What
there?
happened?
You know, probably he thought he can do better than what he did.
Yeah,
So
he
I think
aborted
that
the lap.
at
Probably, I'm
least
not
for
sure.
some, uh, apart from some incredible last laps, I think that Talvic secured this pole position. Let's see if Barrett can do another lap.
I think
Barrett had aborted. I'm pretty sure Barrett is starting his timed effort right now because he backed off by a big amount in the previous lap as we get a yellow flag in sector 3. Checker flag off now.
And
So
Barrett is
this is
still
going to be the last
pushing.
lap.
we're speaking
We
about
have,
the time right here, right?
yeah, we have about 6 cars.
Oh
Oh,
no, Barrett too.
Why? What? Why?
I think we may have some issues on the server. I'm not sure though.
That
Nick
didn't.
Newcomb is one of the only 3 cars now out on the track. Nick Newcomb struggling in P9. He
Let's
sets his personal best first sector, but I'm surprised. I expected Nick to be further up.
let's see if he's gonna get again sucked into the whatever
Well,
that
the
hole
first
was.
sector is green for Nick, so it's improving right now. If
It
I can see
definitely
it.
is. Yeah, you're right, Ricardo. It definitely is. That was a green sector, but to not put a curse on him, Nick Newcomb is for a lap by now. The
Yeah, it's
last
pushing
lap.
like hell.
He should be in line with P2 or P3 as he improves once again in the second sector. I think he's gonna take P3. P3
Yeah,
probably.
his second sector, Lorenzo, is faster than Lorenzo. I mean, Bettini, to be clear.
I don't
So
think that's because Bettini made the purple sector, so I don't think it's faster right there. Well, let's see, 33rd, 34, 30. Oh,
Oh,
nice last lap.
35, P6. I expected the time to be slightly better than that at
yeah,
35.849. For Nick Newcomb, it was the last car on the track. So Tony Telvice officially becomes the first poleman of the GTE Winter Series for 2022. We will now show briefly the starting order in a couple of seconds.
before that happened, Lorenzo Rick, I want to tell you something you probably noticed too. Thomas Holzel, Nick Newcomb, Barrett Erickson, John Vidiguest are all separated by like a 0.027, 0.02, 0. Like I can see it and I can't believe it. Did you guys see
They are
that?
separated by about what is typically 1.5 meters of space.
Yeah, 4 cars
That's
that is.
yeah. We have a very tight midfield going from P5 and all the way to P8. Effectively, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So Holsel, Newcomb, Ericsson, and VD Guest all separated by a brief amount of space. Tony Telvice in pole position with Lorenzo Bettini just behind him, Johnny Gutierrez in P3, Matt Horst in P4, Thomas Holsel in P5 as we saw, Nick Newcomb in P6, Barry Erickson P7 and 8th for John Vidiguest in the blue Ferrari, number 67. Now go towards the final part of the midfield. Peter Williamson, Max with Joe Brown behind him in 10th place. Rob Milliken comes home in P11 for the qualifying, followed by Michael Labelle. P13 for Ed Jones. And Didier Coelho and Stephen Wenham are the last cars on the grid as it starts raining, guys. We have rain. We have heavy rain coming in. Yeah, look at
drizzling.
that. Wipers going crazy on the cars already. And look at the guys struggling to keep the car on the track.
Oh, it's
This,
drizzling.
yeah, this could be the game changer right now. Maybe some people in the back hoped to get some rain and went for a wet setup.
Oh, look at the rain. Look at the rain.
Ooh, this is going to be bad. And
Or
now we are going to see if someone has bet on the rain and get a wet setup. So
Oh,
maybe
that's for sure. Look at that. I mean, we are already seeing the top drivers going at each other on the track. Johnny Gutierrez and Lorenzo Vittini just
yeah,
behind.
oh,
Ooh,
it's
and I
struggling
think
really bad.
I
they're
think
trying to
they're
feel each
trying to
other.
see
Oh,
how the tires are looking so far. Lorenzo Vittini is struggling to keep the power down on that Porsche. I don't know about you guys, but I'm hyped.
I
yeah,
mean,
definitely.
yeah, yeah,
And we saw Bettini struggling even with the traction control because we have to remember that this car has no ABS, but this car has traction control. So having these troubles during traction, even with the TC, it means that maybe he's not on the rain tires. Probably he's still on the slicks.
Oh, and we go
We
back
actually
to sunny
and the
conditions
rain
right
off,
now.
and the rain is off now. Yeah,
yeah.
but
We're
strange
So
weather.
weird weather for now, as
Strange weather.
we have people joining on the stream. Thank you guys for being with us here. A small recap for those who joined right now. We are in the first of 8 rounds of the S397 GT Winter Series, hosted by Sim Racing Online, coded UK. Very kind people and passionate about sim racing. It's gonna be a 1 hour and a half race time, of course, in about 5 kilometers of racetrack going around Pennsylvania at Pittsburgh International Race Park. I'm Lorenzo. I'm joined by Nassim and Ricardo, as always, with Sam controlling the broadcast from his position. And I think this is going to be fun. The rain is present nearby the racetrack. You can check the dark sky weather just in case. Of course, all the drivers will be doing that to try and guess what the best strategy and setup is. Of course, I am surprised by how good this track looks. I was expecting a great track, but not this good. I mean, look at this. Pittsburgh, the first round. Detroit, the second. Then we go to Mid Ohio in October. Then we have a round in Holland and Maastricht, the street circuit, very tricky track for the GTE cars. Then, at the end of the month of October, we go to Marina Bay in Singapore, a very notorious track regarding F1. Then we go to the historic Autodromo di Monza in northern Italy. Then we go back to the USA for the final 2 rounds, Virginia International Raceway and Coda. As always, be sure to check us on Instagram and Discord as well. We are Either Racing, and yeah, we rethink boundaries in sim racing. So, barely 30 seconds left in the warm up. What are you guys expecting from the start? Nas?
Oh, I'm expecting. I mean, if I say carnage, I don't mean it in a bad way, but I expect people to be as attacking as they would, because I know it's a 92-minute race, about an hour and a half. But you got a rain coming up to you, so you better be doing everything you can to keep that track position, so that when the rain comes out, your strategy plays out really nicely. Because we don't know the overcut and the undercut how it plays out, but we definitely checked out on the race. I think Ricardo could have a different point though.
In the race could really could be really the game changer right now. I think that the worst thing that can happen to a driver right now in this truck is to be stuck behind someone who hasn't got the pace at all. And if you are faster, I mean, because we saw some on boards and you don't really have that much possibilities to overtake. I think that the first lap is going to be very, very tricky due to the tightness of this circuit. So the best thing to do is to keep calm, keep quiet the first laps, just keep your line, and then let's see how the pack going to to start to have some gaps and everything else. So I really say, and Porsche are dominating right now. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Porsches.
Absolutely, and a bit of head up on the strategy, tire-wise. We have a high tire wear here in Pittsburgh, so tires are taking the beating in all those long apex corners, as Nas was saying earlier. So I think we're gonna see people trying the mediums and the hards. However, do not forget that we have rain expected, and people may, gamble putting the softs before the rain starts. So everyone is starting with the mediums except for Lorenzo Bettini, which has hard tires, and Didier Coelho and Steven Wenham all the way to the back, which have the soft tires. Not sure what Michael Labelle has put on because he is showing a P in the tires. I'm pretty sure we have to check Bettini because he's the one between all the pretty much the top 10 is the only one on hard tires. Joe Brown, of course, the exception in the top 10 is starting from P10 precisely, and he has medium at the front and hard on the back. So maybe he's suffering from sliding, and of course the rear tires are taking the beating from that. And
or
how
maybe
tricky it can be.
sorry, I was saying that maybe he's suffering by lot of usage on the front tires, which can be because the new update of these cars, of the GTE cars, which is an official one. We remember that as the GT1 were a mod, this one are the official ones. Had the new update, and the new update gets the tire wear of these cars really, really tricky. Very much.
We have Goodyear tires, Goodyear Eagle tires on these cars, not anymore for the Michelin, which are of course the official tires of the WEC Championship. We are just crossing the 1.5 hour mark as we go through the last part of the racetrack. Lorenzo Bettini just following Tony Filvici and trying to put heat in those hard tires. The field looking great indeed, and bunching up as they go up the hill for the final corner. We will be racing in about 10 seconds from now. Tony Filvici, of course, engaging that pit limiter, followed by Lorenzo Bettini, and look at this field. The Porsches are 1, 2, 3, and 4. We will go racing. Now, as Tony Filvici gets a great start and already puts himself ahead of Lorenzo Bettini, which has to protect from Johnny Gutierrez. And look at the Ferrari making a move. Up Gutierrez, Thomas Holsel in P3. What a great start by him, jumping Gutierrez. And I think Gutierrez lost time because Nick Newcomb is already making up places. Let's see. Gutierrez on the inside but cannot do anything about it. John Villegas is overtaken by one of the Porsches as well. Look at this, Tony Filvici, Lorenzo Bettini, Thomas Holsel, Nick Newcomb, Johnny Gutierrez, Matt Horst, and Lucas Barry Ericsson already trying to make a move on the other guys. What a great start.
That's the bad start by Gutierrez and Horst, as we see.
Oh, and there's
Winham.
I think
Winham.
Yeah, that's Steven Wenham, the Aston Martin, the yellow Aston Martin, all the way to the back. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, he spun on his own. Crazy stuff. Tony Filvici then conducts the race from Lorenzo Bettini and Thomas Holsel. Nick Newcomb is P4. Johnny Gutierrez is P5. Matt Horst, the rookie, is P6 at the moment, followed by John Villegas and Barry Ericsson. Joe Brown making up one place from the start. He's now P9, and of course one guy to watch because he has that double tire combination. Williamson then in P10, Rob Milliken in P11, Michael Labelle making up one place in P12. Ed Jones, sad to see Ed Jones all the way behind as we speak. There's been a massive shake-up in the back because Jones is now P11 and Milliken dropped a couple places. Not sure what happened there. John Villegas there, and there's a car going off. In the background, not sure who that was. I think it may have been Joe Brown, but we'll get confirmation about it in a few seconds. Helvice then conducts the race. The midfield, however, is all bunched up. I think we have had a very tidy start compared to what I was expecting. Don't you think, Nas?
Oh, absolutely do. I was a little bit busy with setting up a prediction because I think we might get a DNF. I don't want it to anyone, but I don't think there was a race we haven't seen a DNF. So it was definitely had me curious to put up a bet. Now it's not doesn't involve any money. It's just Twitch points, so you don't get triggered. You could bet it on. When you watch streams, you collect points, and if you're a subscriber, it gets not doubled, but you get a little bit more. So if you got points, you can go ahead on our Twitch live right now and bet your points. Or if you're watching from YouTube, then you can do it next time we're live. But going back to the race, it's definitely starting to spread a little bit, but not in the midfield, just like we expected before. As we see right now, so many cars all the way from P3 all the way down, I think, to P9 or P8. It's definitely looking steady, but the track has, I think, that long straight road passing ability or passing opportunities opens up from here and then.
The onboard from Johnny Gutierrez's car, the purple and orange Porsche, a great livery, by the way, I must say. I'm really loving the designs that we are seeing here. As we now go aboard with Johnny Gutierrez, which is following the Ferrari duo, Thomas Holzel and Nick Newcomb, battling for the final podium place in P3 and P4.
And it was a bad start by Gutierrez and Horst because they were P3 and 4, and they both got overtaken by Nick and Thomas on the Ferraris. Let's see how much the Porsche is fast on the straight.
Oh, and Johnny has a look on the inside, but Nick Newcomb smartly closing the door. The Ferrari looking not really quick on a straight line. I was expecting the Ferrari to be the fastest car here, but the Porsche certainly looks to be the car to beat right now, as Tony Helvice and Bettini rocket away from the midfield, as we see Nick Newcomb desperately trying to find a way past Thomas Holzel, which has had one of the greatest starts I have seen him do, really. He overtook Johnny Gutierrez in the first corner, and that's no slouch, Johnny Gutierrez.
Sorry, go ahead. No, I won't blame you for getting excited because we watch so many things happening right now. I mean, you got to fight P14.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was saying that Nick is probably in the worst situation because you have to both attack and defend, because you have to pick for a possibility to overtake also, and in the same time you have to keep aware of Johnny Gutierrez in the on your back.
Oh, you said it. Johnny Gutierrez gets the move done.
What an overtake by Gutierrez.
Oh yeah.
But the Ferrari looks to be very quick on the slipstream, which is unexpected considering the speed of the Porsche. But look, as soon as the Ferrari gets out of the slipstream, they struggle. And Nick Newcomb, they were able to keep it on the track. Amazing piece of driving and control by Nick Newcomb.
It's not over.
They need to watch out for that horse behind them. What a race we are watching. Johnny Gutierrez retains P4. Nick Newcomb has to follow in P5.
I mean, it's a three-way battle right now.
This benefits Thomas Holzel tremendously, as he's now P3 and he has a bit of a clearing space towards him and Johnny Gutierrez. Now, Matt Horst and John Villegas lining up for yet another battle in the midfield.
Yeah, and Ericsson is right behind them, waiting and just saying, okay, let's see what happens now. This is where you want to be, in the place of Barrett Ericsson, because right now you can keep there, quiet, keeping your tires. As I speak, as always, I should speak ever more about drivers. What? Every time I speak, something happens. So probably
I got me on my toes, Ricardo.
I'm worse than Mazzoni if someone knows him from Italy.
Oh
Yeah, if you don't know who Mazzoni is one of the most famous Italian F1 broadcasters, and he is famous because whenever he said something, it really happened in real life as he was speaking. So, we have that same commentator curse as Nick Newcomb gets overtaken, I think, by Matt Horst. Not sure what happened to
Yeah,
Nick.
definitely.
Yeah, look at that. The Porsche got by Nick Newcomb. I think Nick Newcomb made a slight mistake, and he had to take evasive action and probably lost time. Yeah, look at that. He goes wide into turn one. The replay button not showing the transition for some reason. You are watching the replay, by the way. We go back live with Nick Newcomb trying the inside line there on Matt Horst, but Matt Horst has the pace advantage.
And Gutierrez is back on the tail of also, and now Gutierrez. Oh, look at it! Look at that! They're both on the hill.
yeah, side by side, I believe. Man, they're abusing that apex right there on the right.
Yeah. Suspension wouldn't be happy about
Rob
that.
Milliken just made a move on Stefan. I actually made two moves because he was P14, was able to pass Peter and Stefan Wenham in less than 2 laps. Rob Milliken right now definitely pushing his way all the way up into the top 10 right now. But we keep an eye on the battle in the three-way battle, I believe. It's definitely becoming two-way battle right now because Nick Newcomb is pulling away a little bit at 1.4 second ahead.
Seems to be really struggling right now at this point of the race, which is bad if he's having some tire troubles because it's only 10 minutes. He should be do other 35 on the start. So if he already has were problems, this is going to be bad. And
Look at that, Ricardo. And they touch. And that puts away.
yeah,
Newcomb a little bit to the... Oh, my God. It didn't hurt him that much, but it definitely wasn't a clean pass. I think he's going to get passed again. Yeah, he did by
and Barrett.
Yeah, Bear Ericsson now is sniping those positions, aiming and lock, and definitely saw it and snitch it from Nick Newcomb. But I think Nick collected a little bit of damage.
And yeah, I think as we speak, it's getting darker and darker. Look at that. The sun has disappeared. All of a sudden, we see dark clouds getting on the track. So maybe rain is expected a few laps. Yeah, look at that. The sky does not let you guess anything else than probably a shower. Yellow flag in Sector 2 as we speak. Not sure why that is. I think Coelho spun out and is now P14.
Gutierrez goes past also.
Gutierrez back to P3, and of course he will now be trying to catch back on Bettini and Talvice.
I think Gutierrez likes to make his way to the top. I think he's a man to like to grind his way all the way to the top because he did this before. He's done it before, and it's definitely something to look out for.
This is Didier Coelho with a bent steering wheel. Look at that. The steering wheel does not look like it's pointing the correct direction. So probably steering damage on that Porsche. Didier Coelho is now P14.
That's not normally.
Yeah, look at that. He's having to steer on the right when he goes on a straight line. So not sure what happened there, but the Coelho probably collected damage. And we see many people already using the headlights. And cones are going all over the track. I'm not sure why that is. I love this livery. Williamson's livery on the Corvette. That is vintage. Vintage.
Exactly. That's the word literally that was in my mind. It's vintage. It's classic. It's also a little bit modern, but on a modern car.
It's very. Look at that.
Yeah.
The Corvette does have its own, aura around it, but that dark green and the white, I think it's a contrast that really highlights the beautiness of this Corvette C8, which is C7. Sorry, it's a great car. And look at the Corvette now trying to make a move on the Porsche. This is Rob Millikan on the Porsche, followed by Williamson. If you don't recognize who we are on board with, just check the overlays and you will see a double orange line. That's the driver we're riding on board with. This is Williamson in P12 following Rob Millikan, which is doing his best to keep the Corvette at bay.
Seems the fastest car on the straight. Look how much on the straight part Millikan was able to open that gap.
Yeah, but he's catching him in turns. I think that he's braking is a bit better, or maybe it could be a strategy thing. I don't know.
Rob Millikan looks to be using more tires than the Corvette. He's locking up in the braking area, and of course, I'm not sure what the tire compound is for both of these drivers. I think they are both on medium tires. So Millikan has to watch out for that. As we switch back to the battle for P4, Thomas Holsel, of course, losing contact towards Johnny Gutierrez, which is now 2 seconds clear from the Ferrari. Horst then in P5, Vidi Guest in the other Ferrari in P8. Nick Newcomb, look at him. He was P3 a couple laps ago and he's now P8.
Oh, I think Peter is about to make a move though. He's definitely so good in those specific corners.
He's going to take the inside, maybe not here because the Porsche was able to get away with it.
But he's definitely putting the pressure on him. But I think that Rob knows that he's got the straight line speed somehow. But when it comes to corners, I think the Corvette is just better.
Look out for the switchback as the Corvette is lining up the Porsche once again.
Yeah, let's see if it has enough
into
speed.
The final section. It's not going to be able to do that here. Oh, and big lockup by Rob Millikan.
Yeah, you get away with it though, because it's an uphill. So, yeah, definitely have to wait for another chance.
Absolutely. And locking up with these cars is practically killing your tires. Because a bit of lockup, you lose like 7 or 8% of your tire life. So, really bad lockup on these cars. It's kind of, I don't know how to say. I don't even know how to say it. It's like killing your race because you're going to finish the tire very soon if you keep locking up.
I know where you're coming from, Ricardo, because you definitely had an experience with these cars, I believe. Isn't that right?
Yeah. I had one race with these guys at Fuji. Really nice race. A big battle with John Vidigas. But I used these cars on some other series. Still haven't driven it in an official race since the last update. But I mean, I remember a race in Daytona where I had a huge lockup to avoid an accident, and I just killed my tires. My tires were like 90%, and after the lockup, they were 70. I lost like 20% of my tire's life in just one lockup, so it's really bad lockup.
Peter Williamson jumping on the curbs, trying to find the extra speed to get away from the Porsche. Millikan, of course, looking to be slightly slower, generally speaking, than Peter Williamson, but the Porsche has a great traction, and Rob Millikan knows it, and he's using it as good as he can. I think Bettini also had a bad last lap because he was just 3.5 seconds away from Tony Talvice. He's now 4.7 behind, so not sure what the deal was there.
I mean, you have to think about this, because as a driver, when you're driving, the mental aspect is always playing ahead. Now, depending on who you are and how experienced you are, the mental aspects, you cannot get rid of it. So when you see those times shrinking, going down, it definitely plays with your performance a tiny bit, and it could either be positive or it could be negative on you. But I think Loris Bettini is definitely doing a great job when he sees that time shrinking, because right now he's going down a little bit. But Tony Talvice, though, he's not a man to easily pass, let alone reach and catch. Now, that was not real because I believe something up with the server. But if we go on Tony Talviti, the leader of this race and has been
Oh,
leading,
it's raining.
Started to
It's
rain.
raining.
Yeah.
Rain is coming down already. You can see the Porsche using the wiper. The sky is clear, but rain is beginning to come down as we speak. Nick Newcomb here in P8. Look at this. One part of the track is really dark and probably has a bit of a moisture on it because Tony Talvic has slowed down by a significant amount. While, as you see there, the sky opens up for the second part of the track, and we have many cars that are now bunching up
This is the
because
main
of this.
straight, I think. It's raining pretty hard on the main straight. Yeah, it's the first sector. So the first sector is getting a huge. And look, I already see some tires throwing up some rain, some water.
Yeah, now rain is increasing by the inch at least, as we see Matt Horst trying to countersteer the Porsche to keep it on the track. As we now see, I think, traffic for the first time. Yeah, that's Michael Labelle in the Porsche. Yeah.
I mean, what happens in the rain is you normally want to put up a little bit of your traction control and watch out for your counter steering because definitely the track now is getting slippery. So your car could be going sideways, but if you're in control, you have nothing to worry about unless someone is attacking you.
The tricky thing on the rain with these cars is that with GT3s you have your ABS, so you just go up with your ABS.
Oh, and I have bad news for Peter Williamson because he is now P13. Not sure what happened with him, but I think he had contact with somebody. Not sure who it was, and I'm not even sure when it happened. But he's now P13.
And Newcomb and Brown are on pit. They're looking maybe for some advantage as we speak. Williamson.
I think they're switching to the wet tires. I think Williamson had a contact with Millikan, maybe.
Yeah, because he was
battling. Yeah, he was battling with him.
No, I don't understand what's going on because the raining, as you see from our overlay or our side statics, is that it's 5% raining. So whether it's increasing in the track and it's getting slippery, I think it's a little bit too early to put on rain tires. I could be wrong.
No, I don't really know, because we know in our Factor 2 the truck gets wet really fast. So in just the time of one lap, you get to a track where you can use soft tires, slick tires. As we speak, Williamson got past Coelho, I think. No, Waynham, sorry.
Waynham in the Aston Martin.
As I was saying, at Factor 2, just one lap with 5 or 7% of rain gets your truck completely wet. Completely. It takes really less time to do that. So I don't know. Maybe they're playing the jolly. It's the only thing I can think of right now.
Yeah, if you're wondering why Coelho is being in the pits for so long, is because he's fixing damage from an earlier contact. Of course, we saw him going around with the bent steering, as we see Matt Horst getting overtaken by John Vidiguet for P5. I think it's raining hard now. I think people need to start worrying about Nick Newcomb, which was effectively the first guy to switch to the wet tires. A great view from the onboard of, I think it was Matt Horst, effectively.
I don't know if I stated wrong, but it says raining 5% to the max of 5%. I mean, the track temperature is to 29 or 21. Sorry. It stopped raining. So I think I was right, Lorenzo and Ricardo. The pitting maybe wasn't a great idea because you could literally maybe unless your tires could have been worn out, maybe. Something's
sure. I think something is due to the temperature of the track decreasing. Low temperature on the track means less tire wear generally, but of course this means that whoever put the wet tires is now going to be on the back foot. I wonder how the rain will go around the track. next couple minutes, because I see the wipers going off still, so I'm not sure what the tire percentage was on the cars, but I think Newcomb, Brown, and Coelho are switching to the wet tires. I think I'm pretty sure about that.
Now it's raining by 15%, so maybe.
Oh yeah, rain increasing again.
And it's
strange
still,
weather.
Strange weather. Rain stopped for one lap and then it got bad. Look at that. A bit of spray by the Ferrari. I think that's Thomas Holsel in P4, followed by that beautiful blue and yellow livery on John Villegas. Of course, big shout out to Gilles da Silva for that. I wonder what is going to happen with everybody else, because Nick Newcomb, Joe Brown, and Didier Coelho are on wet tires, as well as Michael Labelle, which came into the pits as we speak.
Yeah, I mean, those
and Bettini, of course. Bettini is probably going to be the car that suffers the most because he has the hard tires on.
I think those who didn't pit definitely will see this as the perfect opportunity to change the tires.
Rob Milliken is in the pits as well. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the front runners. Rob Milliken, as we speak, going into the pit lane with that beautiful all green Porsche SimRacingOnline themed livery.
That's some great looking livery. Look at it.
I am a big fan of the designs.
I am too. Count me in. I'm sold.
Yeah, rain is hard now as Thomas Holsel, John Villegas, and Barry Ericsson and Horst as well all go into the pits together. That's sure going to be a battle to watch in the pit lane. I think the guy who's going to benefit from this is Nick Newcomb, because Nick Newcomb was the first guy to switch to the wet tires, gamble, and I think it's going to pay off.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Newcomb is outside the top 10, so let's see where this is going to put him.
Look at how many cars are going into the pit lane.
Yeah, and the water on the side of the track. Now I don't know if I think rFactor 2 doesn't simulate water puddles, and I believe it doesn't because I have never felt them before, but I could be wrong.
There was a slight problem there for one of the Ferraris. That's Barry Ericsson.
That's Matt Ericsson.
He missed the pit lane for the pit box for his team.
I want to know right now where Newcomb is on the truck. Let's see if he can get those positions.
And heartbreak for Thomas Holsel. He becomes the first driver to get a penalty. Probably for speeding into the pit lane. Nick Newcomb is already in P10, is now approaching the last couple of corners of the track. It's now P9, as a matter of fact, because Ed Jones is still in the pit lane. Talvice is the last. Probably him and Bettini are going to be the last cars to pit. Yeah, Bettini is entering as well.
They really waited till the last opportunity to pit, because
Johnny Gutierrez as well.
Already.
So the leader right now is pitting, and Lorenzo Bettini right behind him. That's
interesting. Johnny Gutierrez lining up in P3 in the pit lane.
We have the whole squad right there.
Yeah,
that's a photo for the records.
How beauty are those Porsches?
And as we speak, look at who got P4. I mean, John Villegas. He had a crazy quick pit stop, and
Williamson still on the mediums.
Yeah, Williamson is the probably Williamson and Wenham are the only cars.
Oh, look how much he's struggling.
Still on the slick tires.
It's
not sure what the deal is. Those guys.
40%. So definitely watch out on those counter steers.
Thomas also actually did not lose all that time I was expecting him to. With the penalty, is now P7. It was P5, but as we know, the midfield is very, very tight indeed. And Barry Ericsson also had an issue in the pit lane. Peter Williamson finally gets into the pit lane. I think it's going to cost him badly, though, because everybody is already out on the track with the wet weather tires.
Yeah, the chase in the rain is always exciting. I mean, look at him looking at those tail lights popping up in the middle of the rain drizzle as he's trying to make his way in the long straight. But you gotta watch out for your braking points because there's no ABS to save you. So if something goes wrong, you could take away the guy ahead of you. Definitely, a lot of things.
If you lock up the tires with wet weather, it's probably gonna result in you rocketing off the track. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the drivers adapt to this new version of the GTE cars, especially in these bad wet conditions. Look at the spray thrown up in the air by Tony Tervice, which is now followed very closely indeed by Lorenzo Bettini, which was probably gained a huge amount of time.
Great
in the
stop.
pit lane.
I mean, Lorenzo, I would like to tell you that Lorenzo is having a great time right now. He's following the leader, Tony Talviti, as they pass traffic. Hopefully that doesn't hinder them as they go into turn one of the first lap. I think he did great with his pit stop. I don't know what he did.
He gained about 5 seconds. That's a huge amount in car time.
That's about 5 years, I believe.
So right now the key on the wet is to be gentle with the car.
Look at him.
Bettini, as I was speaking.
Yeah,
You have to be, always. I was saying that you have to be gentle. Maybe avoid the curbs that much because the curves become really slippery. Look at Talvice, how he's staying out of the curbs. In fact, he was able to get some time on Bettini, which is really aggressive over the curbs. That's something you don't want to do because curbs are really slippery in wet conditions. You have to have your corner a little bit, how can I say, rounder. You have to. You don't have to be so aggressive on the curb, trying to cut the corner. You have to be a little bit rounder, a little bit easy on the driving style. And Talvice is doing that really great. Look at how much he is gaining on Bettini.
Yeah, I think Bettini has some, I would say, strong points where he knows where he's good at. And that definitely boosts up his confidence on chasing Tony Talvici because he knew he couldn't get him into qualifying, but he definitely feels like he had a chance, especially with shoving up 5 seconds the pit stop, which should tell him that he's still in the fight and it's not over till it's over. As we did cross actually the 1 hour mark, and we have 1 hour to go. And to be honest,
it was only 1/3 of the race, and it flew by so quickly. So I'm looking forward to the next 60 minutes because Tony Talvice and Lorenzo Bettini are on another planet right now. They are P1 and P2 and very far away from everybody else, and none other than the royal trio of Johnny Gutierrez, John Villegas, and Barry Erickson, which are 3 of the fastest drivers here.
Yeah, a yellow was thrown, a yellow flag, so not sure what was happening. So I think definitely drivers are starting to struggle with this. I think they didn't start, but they actually still struggling with the wetness. I think it's 40% on the track, but it's 30% in the amount of rain. And as we see Thomas Holzel getting out of the pit, hopefully, I think he's getting in the pit, so hopefully he doesn't collect a penalty as what happened with another driver before.
I think, as a matter of fact, he's discounting his penalty, as a matter of fact. Maybe not, because he's stopping.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Probably damage to the Ferrari. Not sure though. You have to give it to Lorenzo Bettini though. First time we see him here, and he's already battling with one of the best drivers, Tony Talvice, for P1 under a rainstorm in a very difficult track, I must say, Pittsburgh International. So great job by him so far.
I think to bring a challenge. Yeah, I should.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think he might have heard me, and I should have not spoken that. But that was a joke. But I believe that Lorenzo Bettini is bringing up a challenge to Tony Talviti, which we don't. I think we saw Gutierrez bringing that challenge, but Tony Talviti always been, despite those technical issues, always been at the top and almost untouched.
Really, that's Venom, and this gives a great opportunity to Bettini, who goes around the inside on Tony Talvice. Let's see who comes out on top. Tony Talvice kind of gave that to him, but he didn't defend as he should have. So Bettini, as we speak, inherits the lead. This is the first time there's been a change in the leader. Lorenzo Bettini now be very happy indeed to gain P1 against one of the best drivers, Tony Talvice, which does not look like he's gonna settle for second. What a great race.
I mean, I don't know if our job is to commentate or to curse people, because I was literally speaking good about Tony Talviti, and I'm not even kidding. And you saw it with your own eyes. Position has been switched, as if somebody did it. I mean, I don't get it.
I hope that Tony didn't have any damage, because he lost very much from Bettini right now, which is strange because he was easily keeping his pace and was actually quicker. So
I'm afraid to say good things about Lorenzo right now. I'm literally scared. I feel for the man. His first show up of the race. I do not want him to see, because who was the car that stopped? I think it was Rob.
I think it was Holsel probably.
Yeah, but that was not Holsel, because Holsel is on a Ferrari, and that was a.
You mean it's the Aston Martin is Steven Wenham in P15.
I did not see that coming at all.
I think Wenham does not realize he's still on the soft tires, so a strategic problem for Steven Wenham, because the game gives him with soft tires, and that's not the tire you want to be in with in this. Not sure what happened there, but it's surely a skirmish between Holsel and Johnny Gutierrez. Holsel, of course, in P11 being lapped by that beautiful Porsche driven by the former champion. As we follow Matt Horst, now we switch to Rob Milliken battling with Thomas Holsel for P10. Thomas Holsel got the best.
Also, Gutierrez was lapping also.
Yeah, before he gets out of Porsche.
That was dangerous at turn 1. That could have ended very badly, and I'm glad it didn't.
Oh, Milliken.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too, Ricardo. He's not doing the advice you've given before of keeping the curves a bit away from your side and maybe being gentle with them. I think they know it once they touch it.
Yeah.
Lots of standing water on the side of the track. You don't want to get out of your ideal line too much, because that's going to cost you tons of time. As we see Nick Newcomb trying to fight back P7, which is Joe Brown, as a matter of fact, in that beautiful green Aston Martin livery that became famous on the Bentley back in the Endo series.
Yeah, I mean, the track is soaked wet. Like, you can see the reflection right there.
Look at the Aston Martin getting sideways, and Joe Brown able to control it, and Nick Newcomb harassing the curbs, despite what Rick has been saying over them. As Naz was saying, the track is completely wet now.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the sprinkled water right there on the sides. Rain is not coming down. It's actually, track wetness is now 60%, and the rain is still at 30%, which means, hey, rain ain't gonna stop anytime soon.
Think so. Maybe a wet race till the end? I don't know.
Don't really guess. P4, he was one of the guys who gained massively from the rain cows at the beginning, but I'm once again gonna give kudos to Lorenzo Bettini, because he's now almost 4 seconds clear from none other than Tony Talvice.
So I think being in the lead helps you or something, because definitely I think Lorenzo was doing a better job at keeping up with Tony than Tony is doing right now. But that could be factors in, because it could be in traffic as we see him
As
going.
we speak, again, Tony gets out of shape and pretty much got two tires on the grass. He had to back out by a big distance, and he lost 1 second effectively towards Bettini. A bit of a problem in the overlay as we see John Villegas pitting for 12 minutes. That's not true, of course. Villegas is out on the track once again. Yeah, that's fixed now.
Yes, by the way, I really think that Tony had some damage with his car. It's really strange because he had it's either his tires are dead for some reasons, which is strange because rain tires had a lot of don't have a lot of usage of wear. It seems strange because he was fast as Bikini, but right now he's struggling a lot. I really think that he got damaged from that incomprehension with the Aston Martin.
But they didn't touch though. They didn't touch.
There was no contact. I think the car. I think Tony Tavic's car is perfectly fine, but he's probably not feeling the setup.
Look at him
in
going outside.
wet conditions.
I mean, let's not take away the effort done by Bettini, because he's definitely either
Absolutely.
he was either keeping up his pace slowly because he knew a battle was eventually going to happen, and then now he knows his lead and he wants to maximize the gap between him and Tony, or either Tony could be also playing a strategic game because he's not that far. He's he was 5, now he's down to 4.3. So a lot of things could be going on that we could guess over and over, but eventually the man who crosses the finish line at the end will be the man with the biggest smile, I guess.
Indeed, and
Tony got
Nick
1
Newcomb
second
and
from
Joe Brown are separated by less than 2 seconds. However, look at the gap that Bettini and Talvice have towards everybody else, more than 30 seconds. That's quite a gap.
Indeed. I mean, last time we saw them all together was in the pit where Guti and Talviti and Bettini were all changing the tires, but after that, Gutierrez fell a lot. 30 seconds. I wonder what happened for all that
Not
time.
sure, but it's quite a long time.
It is indeed, because Gutierrez is a fast dude, and we normally see him all the way at the top fighting for the win, if not, because he's the last championship winner. So something might have happened that we didn't miss and we haven't caught.
Yeah, I'm checking the timeline and making a slight comparison. Tony Talvice is currently 1 second slower than his target time in rain conditions than what it was with the dry situation. So probably a setup issue, I would say, because that's a steady value that's been popping on the screen during the race. So probably a setup difference between Bettini and Talvice, or a better interpretation of the car. But that's weird. It's unusual to see Tony losing out that amount of time in tricky conditions, because we know how versatile he can be. I remember him in the LMP1, Ginetta LMP1, in the wet condition at Patras, the very first race that we broadcasted, and he was smoking everybody else. So that's a new one for me.
what we was speaking about during the warm-up. We wondered if someone had a bet on a wet race and went for a wet setup. Maybe Tony did the opposite. He betted on a dry race and went for a dry setup.
Yeah,
and Bettini and Bettini for a wet. So right now, Bettini's car is like he's working better on the situation, because he seems like the first stint is reversed right now. The second stint is the reverse of the first one, with Bettini trying to get away, and Salvice struggling on the rain, while on the dry was Salvice trying to get away and Bettini struggling to keep the pace.
It's probably, I think that's the most, most probable explanation, because Bettini is now 6 seconds clear. The gap is increasing as we speak. So good on Bettini for the race interpretation and the provision of what would have happened. But it's still 47 minutes left, so it's really, we're barely halfway into the race. It's still early to, give the win to anybody.
Absolutely. I don't want to ride the arbitrary of Tony Talviti, because let me tell you something about Tony Talviti. He's a man who's been racing in SimRacingOnline since May 2017. His first race, now hear me out, in the Oreca, qualified to and finished to his first race ever, and that's like what, 2017? That's about 5 years, 6 years ago. He's done 300 events. He's a man of experience. This guy, I don't think we need to worry about him, because the race is not over, and I'm not counting this man out. Never ever, unless his technical stuff comes in, which I do not hope it happens again. I think, in my opinion, it played a big role in the last championship. To not taking away anything from Gutierrez, but Tony Talviti technical issues had been I wouldn't say a consequence, but I would say it played out a little bit in that championship. I think it could have turned out even greater than what it already was.
Absolutely. We all remind the first race of the GT1 series where Salvice got the pole position, got the penalty, had to start on the back of the grid, and climbed back up till the win, till the first place, and still was able to get the first place and open the gap. And
almost also getting wide, probably struggling on the race, probably locked up the front tires. And as you do that, the car does not steer at all, and we saw that right now with Thomas also, and he went straight. Although he got away with it because he didn't get beached on the grass, so good on him for stopping the car in time.
Also, is another guy who started struggle since the rain came on.
Maybe he did have a penalty though. He did have a stop and go penalty.
Yeah, I know, but right now, I mean, on the dry, he was clearly faster than Williamson. He was really far away from him, and right now on the rain, he's struggling to keep Williamson's pace. So probably same problem as Tony. Maybe a dry setup, or maybe, well, on the rain, even your driving style makes a lot of difference. Because there are some drivers who are maybe more gentle by nature. For example, me. I made a couple of wet races where I where I found myself really good with the car. Because probably my driving style is a little bit more gentle. So when it has to be more gentle, like the wet races, you have a little bit of advantage on the others. On the contrary, if you are a bit aggressive. Oh well, as I speak, Matt Horst overtook Herbert Ericsson, which is trying to respond. Let's see if he can get the position back, but the Porsche are really fast on the straight. So as I was saying, your driving style makes a lot of difference. Maybe Talvice is a driver that typically is more aggressive, which is better on the dry situation. But doesn't help you at all on the wet situation. Probably could be another point of view of why he's struggling right now.
I definitely agree, Ricardo. I think driving style changes from a condition to condition, because driving on a dry condition, you could be practicing for your whole life on dry condition, but once you switched it to the wet condition, you definitely feel like you're starting over, like you're learning again, because it's completely different, and the aspect of driving changes. It's not slammed that throttle and getting away. It's actually playing with it, knowing what to go. And in real life, it's even more harder. But in the sim games, you could still find your way through the track without going to the Mr. Wall, or I like to call it. And the rain now has been decreased. It's now going down to 5%. So now it's a time for drivers to think it over. Should they stop and put the dry, or should they wait until the conditions are good for that? Because if you wait too much, that could not be handy for you. So let's see what's going to happen, because right now the wetness of the track is still between 40 and 60%. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen from now on. I'm literally clueless as all the viewers, or if you watch the pod. And we can see the dry line right there being shown, because the rain is slowly drizzling to almost stopping right now, as we see the Aston Martin of Joe Brown. Definitely a man who likes the Aston Martin. We've seen on the Aston Martin on many occasions, and this is not the first time we've seen him on this car, as on his great green livery as always. Definitely looking great on the night. But the rain, as we speak about it, the main thing about this race could be a great thing for you, great advantage to give you positions, or it could be your demise.
And as a confirmation of what Rick was saying about the setup difference between Bettini and Talvice, as soon as the rain decreased, Talvice has gained 4/10 of a second on Bettini. So Bettini will need to think it over very, very quickly indeed, because he's losing time. He's losing time by the lap. So I think if the rain stops completely and we go back to dry, I think Tony will have the advantage.
Main thing right now is so we know that we know from experience from a race we did in Silverstone, the 8-hour Silverstone, that starting to have a dry line around the track is going to be really tricky, because you have to be really sharp, you have to be really precise, otherwise you're gonna put your slick tires on the wet and just kill yourself practically, which can be a problem for the overtakes, because as long as we drive into the dry line, it's all fine. But when you have to do an overtake, so go out of the perfect line everyone is keeping, you find yourself in the rain again on the wet with slick tires. So I think that probably Bettini is hoping that the truck doesn't get completely dry, maybe just the dry line. I think that with just the dry line, it can depend on Talvici.
Indeed, it can, and of course, Talvice cutting the gap by 5/10 of a second in this lap, but Bettini is able to stretch it in the first and second sector. Talvice is faster than Bettini in the last part, the second sector, and in the last section of the track. So it's still very much balanced between those two guys. As we go over the 40 minutes mark, only 6 cars still on the lead lap. So a big distance between the drivers, I would say.
I'm definitely looking forward to Bettini on how he's going to react when it's completely dry. Because Tony Talvici, as fast as he is and as great of a driver he is, I believe that he always pushes to the max. He's a man that always pushing to the max. Now, I don't know his strategy, or if he has an engineer that maybe tames him down a little bit when he's pushing too hard, but I believe sometimes he extracts more than he needs to, and by the end of the race, he's left out with little to no tire wear to fight with. So I hope that this is not the case, because maybe in the rain he was toning it down a little bit, but that just doesn't make sense, because the rain is going to stop anyway, or maybe he didn't expect it. I don't know. He's now in the 9 seconds, and I think this is going to be completely up to luck, because if the rain keeps on going, Lorenzo is going to keep flying ahead, but once it stops, now that's what I want to know.
Absolutely. And the thing that, as Lorenzo was saying, that Tony is gaining time on the last sector and on the first part of the track, it's proof that he's on a completely different setup. Because the first part of the track and the last sector are the fastest on the straight. They have the more longest straight. So probably less aerodynamic by Tony Talvici. which helps him in the straight, obviously during the dry and in the straight parts. But Bettini, with a better wing setup for the wet, right now is able to have more grip. So probably this is the proof we were needing. We were needing to say that they are on two different setups. Everyone looking for the part of the race they wanted to make the difference in. But right now, Bettini has made more difference during this wet stint than Salvice was able to make during the dry stint.
Now, if we go back to the back of the field, we see the man who was responsible slightly, I would say completely, about the switch in what happened in the lead between Tony and Bettini, because I believe he was trying to make way for the lead to pass, but he did it uphill, in which they both didn't expect. They expected him to keep his speed, but then Tony got he freaked out or something, and then he switched to the left, and then Bettini trusted his guts and just went through it and gave him a great boost in that straight line, which Tony didn't see it coming because he expected him also to brake or to slow down. I think that was the mistake, which caused him to lose the lead. Now, Stefan is all the way down at P15. There was a lot of registered drivers that we were expecting to see today, but most of them didn't, including the man who's responsible for the skin of the VD guest, Jill De Silva, in which we saw in many occasions.
And what we are seeing now is quite impressive because Holtel was battling in the same pack of Vidigas during the first part of the race, and right now Vidigas is on his way to lap Thomas Holtel. So bad luck for Holtel, probably a bit unlucky with the penalty, and we didn't find himself good with his car in the rain.
Now, no more spray, and there's a dry line, as you can see, showing up in the track, and that would mean that drivers could start thinking about switching the tires, as I said before. Now, the man who did it first, as we see Gutierrez lapping the traffic right there, could get an advantage, possibly, and speaking for Tony, and you know that I'm doing that, because we see that his pace in the dry line was a little bit better than when it was raining. Because right now it's stopped, as you can see, it's no longer raining.
Let me do a question to both of you. Right now, you are Bettini, okay? You start to see the dry line getting wider and wider every lap. What do? You go 35 minutes till the end. You know that Salvice.
I would probably copy whatever Salvice does.
I would not.
When you're in first, you don't have to change your strategy. Tony is the one who has to attack. You always have to think that the guy behind you is the one who has to make the move.
Exactly.
Whatever he does.
Problems with the lapping of Joe Brown, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's Joe Brown. Salvice losing 1.6 seconds behind the Aston Martin. Not great. For the people who are joining right now on the stream, we have had quite an epic race with many things happening. Of course, this is a 8 rounds championship. Pittsburgh being the first one, the one you are seeing right now. Then we go to the Belle Isle racetrack in Detroit. Then we go to Mid Ohio in October, only to go back to Europe in the roads of Maastricht in Netherlands. Then we go to an extremely different track, Marina Bay, Singapore track. So the Middle East will be the setting for the round 5. Then we go back to Europe once again to the historic Autódromo di Monza on the 13th of November. Then a double head back to the USA with Virginia International Raceway and Austin, Texas. Buckle up, because this is going to be nice. And Nick Newcomb is the first guy to get into the pit lane for the second time.
So he's definitely going for the dryers. Now, I don't know if it's going to rain again. I definitely didn't check the forecast, and I don't know if it's going to rain again.
No more rain expected in the next 45 minutes. So we are expecting a dry line to appear very quickly indeed. Barrett Ericsson follows Nick Newcomb into the pit lane. Of course, Barrett was P6 when he came in.
Yeah, that's
Newcomb
definitely a
with
dry.
the
That's
hard
definitely
and
dry.
medium tires, so he copied what I think Coelho had. Joe Brown, sorry, at the beginning of the race, he had the medium tires on the front and hard tires in the back. Let's see what Ericsson does.
Yeah, right now it's going to be curious to see what's the time that Newcomb can pull out. Let's see. I think it's going to be a good time because we see no more water getting from the. We see no sprinkles from the tire anymore. So
A good stop for Barrett Ericsson as well. He didn't lose the place to Jones. But I think Ericsson made a mistake because he's given again with the wet tires. Not sure what the deal is there. Probably has to refresh in the overlay, but
yes, yeah, he's on the truck.
let's see how it's done now. He is on the medium tires for Barrett Ericsson. So a different, slightly different strategy as we see him getting well out of shape in the uphill right-hander. Not what he wants to do with those tires.
Yeah, that's something I don't see from Barrett Ericsson usually, so that proves that this track is not easy to mess with.
No, it's terrible condition right now because you have to be extremely sharp.
Oh, he might have put it too early. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the guys who switch tires, and especially Barrett Ericsson, are currently the slowest on the track. So maybe it was too early to change to the dry weather tires. In fact, Bettini and Talvice are well balanced and yet to stop, as well as Gutierrez and Vitigas. Speaking about the podium runners, not sure how they will play the strategy as we are very, very close to the 30 minutes mark. So almost 2/3 of the race gone already, and Nick Newcomb, the first guy to stop for dry weather tires in P10. Milliken is in the pits now as we speak in that beautiful green.
That livery is.
I wonder, yeah, that livery is really, really good. I wonder how the temperature of the track is doing, because I reckon after all the water that came down, the temperature has to be lower. So I assume that a softer compound for dry weather would do the job. I'm not sure why Nick Newcomb put the hard tires in the back. It was probably suffering from oversteer and maybe sliding. Thomas Holzel and John Vitigas, as a matter of fact. So John Vitigas, the first front runner to come in the pit lane. Look at that livery.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful stuff. I checked on the track temperature and it's 42.3. It's not that bad, but I think it's gonna stay the same because the condition of that's not.
That's not what they want to do with the pit lane.
I mean,
weird stuff going on in the pit lane. I'm not sure why.
I'm seeing things I don't think I'm supposed to see.
Yeah, that's a car sideways in the middle of the pit lane.
I mean, imagine waking up to a view like that. What is he going? Left or right?
Nice.
And look at really Ken.
Come on, blue green card. Push him a little bit. Help him. Don't leave him hanging. I mean,
Vitigas is really stuck.
if it was me, I would have helped him. Maybe not, but maybe another world. But this is a this is a position.
Tricky situation because both of them are in the pits for an incredibly long amount of time.
And also able to restart his race, and they made the pit stop. Oh, bad news for Vitigas. Hope he doesn't have too much damage.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, Ricardo, because he pushed him a little bit, so hopefully he didn't collect a little bit of damage right there. But I have never seen a pit stop in any series we streamed like that. I mean, pitting going sideways. That's. I mean, should be a trophy for that.
And as we speak, the dry tires are still slower than the leaders' times. So probably it's still not the perfect time, but I saw a pretty much big dry line right now on the truck. As Ed Jones, even Ed Jones changed his tires.
Every time they get out, I'm always keeping an eye on that penalty. But we've only seen one this race. But delivery of VD Guest. Now that I had like a good look at it, that thing is an art. It's
You
beautiful.
see a car. There was a car spinning in the background there. Not sure who it was. I saw a white car. Maybe it was Thomas Holsel, but maybe I don't know.
Thomas Hossel was not probably because that wasn't a Ferrari.
Oh, I have no idea. Joe Brown, Joe Brown in P5 going into the pit lane as we speak. Oh, and Tony Talvice as well.
Tony Talvice right now is playing his ace up his sleeve, trying to beat before Bettini. This could be really the move if
I think
it
Bettini
works.
needs to react.
Yes.
Bettini needs to react immediately. Otherwise, it's gonna cost him the win.
Tony Talvice
And Gutierrez on the pits too.
is Gutierrez. They always stop at the same time for some. Are they on the same team?
I don't think.
Not sure. I don't think so. I think Gutierrez is the teammate of Rob Milliken, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it should be. And right now, the dry compound is 2 seconds faster than the wet compound. So Bettini right now needs to stop. He must stop now. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Williamson. His lap car and Bettini is still staying out.
That's not looking good.
This could be really the game changer right now.
That is not what you want to do, Lorenzo.
Is eating the gap. He's eating the gap. He's 56 seconds behind Bettini. Bettini needs to pit.
Look how aggressive is Talvice, using all the truck, even if the outside is still a bit wet. Oh my god. I hope that Bettini doesn't have the same strategies that Ferrari
Bettini
has.
needs to hope that the gap does not fall down fast.
Look at him going sideways uphill.
And Talvice was.
Bettini needs to react. I think
Sorry.
it's now time for Bettini to come in because Tony Talvice was 2 seconds faster in one single sector, so that's about 6 seconds a lap faster. Bettini needs to pit.
Look at Williamson. Look at Williamson.
Now, if this was,
Yes.
I mean, Lorenzo, right now, Lorenzo, you, the commentator, if this was happening and you were behind it, I would imagine you screaming to pit right now, pit right now. What are you doing?
I think
Unless, guys.
Ooh, look, he's playing with fire right now.
Yeah, unless Bettini is trying to do maybe the ultimate move, staying out and say to Talvice, okay, close the gap right now, get me and pass me.
that's possible, but I think
That's the ultimate.
I don't think that's a suitable strategy for Bettini, as I think it's.
He is. Oh no! Oh
He faked
no!
it.
Oh no! That is not.
I think that
Not sure what he's going to do, but he lost 4 seconds in the last lap.
I think that Bettini right now is saying, okay, you know what? 20 minutes till the end. I already lost too many seconds. The only thing I can do right now is staying out.
But that's. I mean, sorry, Ricardo, but I understand he's trying to be an ultimate Giga Chad and tell him to bring the fight. I don't care. But he's literally losing 2 seconds each
But
lap.
he's gonna have heavy overheating on the tires by the end of the race.
But right now, if it's the race is over.
Yeah, but Ricardo, he lost 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Nas. He lost 10 seconds. Right now, if he pits, the race is over because Talvice, with the pit, Talvice has gained too much of advantage. So Bettini right now, probably looking for the win, is saying, you know what, I'm going straight to the end. With this tires, yeah, I'll be suffering. It's
Let's
going to
do
be
a
that.
quick calculation. The target lap is about 1 minute and 35, I think. Can you confirm that?
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, by my calculation, there are probably seven or eight laps left. So I think it's gonna be enough for Tony to catch back to Lorenzo and try a move. That's for sure. He is 44 seconds clear.
Absolutely. But guys, if I can say, there's one thing. On the outside, at the outside of the line, track is still a bit wet, so it's going to be hard for Tony to overtake. I think, even though and Bettini right now on the pits.
I had to to talk to our director to fix that to see if he was pitting or not. He is pitting right now. Now, where is he gonna come out? I'm looking forward to know because we saw Tony Talvice made a mistake at a lap.
Third thing is only changing his tire.
Bettini may have the edge. Let's take a look at this. Talvice, oh look at that! Bettini with the hard tire and he's ahead. He's clear. He's 7 seconds clear. What a strategy by Bettini.
Probably he did not refuel. Probably just tire change.
How is he gonna manage the fuel?
But how is this possible?
How is he gonna manage the fuel?
Maybe he put a full tank on the previous, on the previous stop. Maybe he refilled the previous stop.
That would explain the pace difference between him and Tony Talvice in the first stint.
And it did. This is, by the way, a bad situation for Bettini because behind him there's PD Gas, which is the Talvice teammate. So we saw PD Gas trying to overtake.
Oh yeah, that's correct. That's Talvice's teammate. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe,
but I don't think John Vitigas is going to interfere with that.
Possibly not, but Talvice now is down to 6.4 seconds. I mean, he's flying.
Just flying.
He's gaining. He's gaining a lot of time because Talvice is on the medium tires, Bettini on the hard tires, and I think the hard tires are not suitable for the cold temperatures that we are having on the track. So that's the game changer right there. Whether Tony Talvice can get those mediums to work properly and gain all that time to Lorenzo Bettini. Lorenzo Bettini is on the outlap still, so let's not forget that if the temperature gets into the tires just a little bit, he will be able to manage the gap and keep Talvice at bay. However, Bettini needs to hope that the medium tires of Talvice fall off at the end.
Now, we don't want to... This battle is definitely taking the spot from other drivers, but so far, Stefan Wedham is still in the back. Didier Coelho now in P14. Rob Milliken now is still P13, about 9 seconds behind Michael Labelle, who's 69.7 seconds behind Thomas Holsel, who's 52 seconds. The field is so spread as I'm going up. I mean, Peter Williamson, 3 seconds, is getting closer to Ed Johns, as himself is 3 seconds closer to Nick Newcomb. Now we get another phase because it's 15 seconds ahead of Joe Brown, or sorry, behind Joe Brown, which Joe Brown again is 36 seconds, as I think you were about to say, Ricardo.
No, I was saying that Joe Brown is on another extreme choice of tires because he has hard on the front and soft on the back. Which is not usual. It's really not usual to see that. It's like a MotoGP, having different compounds.
Yeah. It sounds like a Powerpuff combination, so hopefully it makes something great. But he's 36 seconds behind Vitigas. He's got 19 minutes to keep this position because I don't see him getting any position unless he benefits from the demise of other drivers. For Vitigas, in his quite outstanding livery by De Silva, is now in P6, but 5 seconds behind Barry Ericsson.
And if I'm
Yeah, go ahead.
not wrong, Ericsson got past Vidi Guest with the pit.
Yeah, you're right. Ericsson is still on the lead lap because there you see right behind him Bettini in the Golf Porsche coming up to lap him as we speak. So Ericsson really prolonging his life in the lead lap almost till the end of the race because we're barely 18 minutes from the end of the race. So great performance by Ericsson.
So Bettini struggling with a lap car. This is not going to be playing for his side.
Yeah, but Talvici will have to do the same. So not determining who the winner will be.
And right now Talvici is down the 4-second mark, 3.6, gaining a lot. Probably even because the traffic in front of Bettini.
Yeah, but he's gonna have to suffer through the same thing as Lorenzo said. Lorenzo, the Ermenegildo I'm talking about, man himself. Man, I'd like.
Oh, look at there behind him, John Guest
with Labelle.
Was that?
That plays tremendously into the hands of Tony Talvici.
Yeah, that helped him actually, because he put away 2 cars.
There we see the replay.
He took his inside
Labelle.
He slid off the apex, collected the red car. I don't know who that was.
Michael Labelle, I think.
That was Michael Labelle.
He did the corner.
And Talvici 1 second behind Bettini, gaining massively on Bettini. Not sure why, but he gained a lot of time traffic.
Yeah,
that's Rob Miniken in front of Bettini, not giving up the position tempestively. That's Bettini losing out precious time for the race win. Now Tony Talvici is barely 1.5 seconds behind him. I wonder how this will change the standings because.
And look, why didn't he let him go through?
I'm not sure, but Vidi Guess compromising his race with that the overtake attempt on Labelle's lap Porsche. But of course, Tony Talvici is now the focus of the race because he's about 2 seconds behind Lorenzo Bettini, and it's going down to the wire, guys.
Now we had a completely dry track, so overtake is again possible right now. I don't think that Bettini will be happy with the traffic.
Definitely not. I think Ed Jones as well is trying to get into the P9. He's definitely top 10, but he's chasing Peter Williamson in less than a second. But the man of the day is Tony Talvici, who's somehow made up position. I wouldn't say somehow. I'd say Lorenzo was literally stuck behind cars who didn't let him pass, and I don't know why.
And it's now stuck behind Barry Ericsson. And as we speak, Talvici seems really to have a quicker pace, not that much quicker, but a bit of better pace on the dry.
Yeah, as we saw Lorenzo Bettini flashing his headlights behind Barry Ericsson to desperately try and get him.
Helping Bettini actually.
Yeah, he's now compromising Talvici.
I mean, you guys need to know
this is a thriller, guys. This is a thriller.
If this was a fight, like an actual fist fight, and you somehow grab the cage, and
Barry moving out of the way. Sorry, Nas.
No, it's okay, Ricardo. I was saying if you grab the cage, it changes the outcome of the fight. So now we're seeing that he was 6 seconds, and because of somebody didn't respect, he lost 6 seconds. So how do you get that back? It's something that it literally changes the outcome of the event. So I think it needs to be looked over, in my opinion.
Yeah, and from the pace we saw before, 15 minutes are more than enough for Talvici to try to catch back 2 seconds. It's almost nothing in 15 minutes, 2 seconds.
They now have cleared track, so it's now a matter of pace. It's just based on pace now, because both Bettini and Talvici do have cleared track. And they lost massively to Johnny Gutierrez as well. Johnny Gutierrez is now 20 seconds behind Talvici and 24 seconds behind Bettini. So, yeah.
Will be raced by Gutierrez. I mean, it was too fast for the guy in the back, but probably a bit too slow for the guys in the front.
Exactly,
So
Ricardo. It felt like he was stuck. He can't move up and he can't move down. So he's stuck in what he's given today in his P3. And he's lapping the same pace as Tony Talviti right now. So I don't understand how he's 22 seconds behind. I think Gutierrez gets better and better race. And he did the fastest lap right now. A 137 against a 138. So Gutierrez definitely has a pace, but I think he just
was
better and better. Don't you think, Ricardo?
no. I was saying that he was with Horst, one of the guys that had a problem at the start, so he probably got a little bit stuck at the beginning of the race behind a bunch of people that were not that fast. That's what I was saying to you before the race, if you remember well. I said that the worst thing that can happen to a fast driver as we see
Ricardo.
Williamson over Newcomb.
Exactly. He was putting his nose ahead, trying to put his presence and show that he's there, but it didn't work out to get a position.
And what a great performance we are seeing by Williamson right now.
Indeed.
I mean, he had some problems. He was able to climb back, and now he's on the fight for the 8th place. I mean, really good performance by him. I have to stop talking.
Ricardo, I'm coming to you right now. I'm literally on my way. My flight is. How did you do that? How did you do that? He was literally going up and lost control. I have to see that again. I mean, we're waiting on the director to get us on that, but I have to see that again. How did that happen? I think they touched something.
I think it went on the grass. Probably on the grass.
He just lost.
He lost it.
His throttle was definitely not doing right, and he lost.
And guys, as we speak, Salvici is less than 1 second down to Lorenzo Bettini.
I think you owe him an apology, Ricardo.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Peter. I won't say your name anymore right now on the next races.
Maybe say it, but say the opposite thing.
Yeah, I'll be saying that you did a terrible performance right now.
Yeah, maybe that.
Bettini's struggling. Bettini is really struggling right now. And Talvici is less than half a second gap from Bettini. And
ooh, traffic again. Traffic again.
A bit of touch there. Winham has to move.
He has to move. He has to move.
He's right now.
Get out of the way.
Bettini won't be happy about that. I would be terribly angry with Winham.
I mean, why? I don't understand the traffic. They're definitely probably not doing it on purpose, but they should get out of the way because this is literally a decisive. I can't even speak right now. Can you help me, Ricardo?
Yeah, especially Winham, because unfortunately for him, he is not in a race with anyone. So just move away, just move out.
This is the battle for the lead. We'd like to remind you right now, happening between Tony Talviti and Lorenzo Bettini.
I think that Talvici is ready. He's ready to attack. It's ready. Look at that. It's like a shark hunting its prey.
Indeed, he's putting him into target. He's waiting to fire that missile, maybe for the right moment. I think he figured out that the traffic are not behaving adequately, so he might wait for a great chance to do it because he got 9 minutes to do it, or else this could be the first loss of his championship right now.
These are going to be 10 long minutes for Bettini. 9. If I have to be precise, but it's going to be 9 long minutes for Bettini right now.
I mean, should I remind you that Lorenzo Bettini was 4/10 slower in the qualifying, so he technically wasn't as fast as Tony Talviti, if we speak from a technical point. So which means he's definitely doing a great job keeping a faster guy, technically again, in the qualifying behind him. So then, I think we should give it to Lorenzo right now.
Wait. Let's see down the main straight.
Oh, he's covering.
Look how Bettini is weaving right now. Bettini is really on the edge. Look at how much he's on the grass.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I can't even. I want to focus in the place of the driver. I'm focusing for him right now. It's too much to handle when you have a driver with the same caliber, if not better, and you knew you got to keep him behind for what? Amen. And like you said, Ricardo, it's gonna be the longest 9 minutes of his time right now.
Yeah, I think that Salvici is testing Bettini's resistance right now. He's trying to get in his nerve. He's saying, "I'm here. I'm not trying anything. I'm looking at you. If you do a mistake, I'm right here." So terrible, terrible pressure. Bettini should be feeling a terrible pressure right now,
I
and
think,
Salvici.
Ricardo, if I may cut you, is that I think if you get too comfortable, that's the time when you lose. As we see Ed Jones right now, also 3/10 behind Nick Newcomb, going in the straight line. Maybe we'll get a dive right here. As he's thinking about it, didn't move to the side, probably to not hinder his braking position or braking point. Sorry, as he's about less than a second right there behind Nick Newcomb, fighting for. Let me check that again. They're fighting for P8 right.
So, Laura, if you were Tony right now, what would you be doing? Would you be only applying pressure? Would you be try risk an overtake?
I
What
would
you be doing?
I would probably make myself bigger in the rearview mirrors. I would try to weave, then come back to the racing line before the braking area, and really try to get probably flash the light a little bit to get Bettini a bit frustrated out of the corners. You really have to play mind games at this stage with 6 minutes left, unless Tony knows he has the pace. These are two Porsches. Tony has a less aerodynamic drag, so he may try an overtake in turn one, which is one of the main, overtaking opportunities areas. So not sure how it's gonna go down.
Absolutely, but from what? Ooh, big drift there by Bettini, which is really the edge right now. He's using every.
No.
He's giving everything. As I think Salvici is.
So Tony had to lift because he had nowhere to go. So he had to lift and wait for him because he has nowhere to go.
From what I saw, Bettini is able to have a better exit down this last corner, so he's able to open the gap a little bit on the straight, just to.
Oh, not this time though.
I mean, this is side by side. I think it was a little too early for Tony to go side by side.
Not finished yet. It's not finished yet.
He actually got the position.
Look at this! Look at this! Look at this!
You got Bettini going in on the inside and Talvice getting out of shape, but then Bettini overshoots it and is now P2.
I don't
What
think
a battle this is.
I do not think that's over.
I don't think so, because Bettini has tremendous slipstream speed and Talvice has locked up the tires. Look at the steering input that Bettini is able to put into that Porsche. Really working well, his Porsches. I think it may even be beneficial for Bettini to be behind, because he has a bit more wing maybe than Talvice, but Talvice being able to stretch the gap under traction, so it's well balanced. I mean,
I think that right now the tire choice is making the difference, because with the medium tires, Talvice is having a better traction, especially. Oh my god! Oh, Talvice, big mistake.
Don't do me like that, Tony, because this is. I mean, I think Lorenzo, the driver we're watching right now, is having issues with his back tires. I mean, look at him. Each time he's exiting, he's going a little bit sideways.
he's oversteering a lot of times, but what a battle.
Ed Jones and Peter are also having their fight of their own right there on the back, as we keep an eye again on the fight for the lead. Tony Talvice now 2/10 ahead of.
Yeah, Talvice right now seems to have found a better pace. He's 1 second.
What a move by Ed Jones!
That's
You have to give it on a man. You have to give it to him. That was a great move.
He squeezed his car.
Absolutely.
He found his way, I would say. But the uphill always is a problem for the guys I see.
Yep. Suffering big from tire degree, because yeah, I was the first one to put the tires on, the dry tires on, and right now it's having a big problem on the tire usage. So unlucky for him, and I think that Bettini gave up. Probably it's more than 1 second, 1.5 seconds from Tony Talvici. I'm unlucky. Maybe he pitted too late.
If I was to say, I think he was as lucky as he could get, because he pitted last. His tires should have been better than Tony Talvici, so he should have had the upper hand. But somehow Lorenzo.
You're right, Nas. He lost a lot with the traffic. It was unlucky because of the traffic, but
in that aspect, I would say.
Yeah, but I don't know. Probably pitting earlier would have gave him the possibility to have
pushed
Luke Bonnet Jones.
Maybe he didn't push him, but he didn't leave him enough space. Maybe you could look at that again. But yeah, that was a pass. I don't think that was lap traffic. That was actually position for the fight. Waiting for a confirmation on that.
Yeah. And let's see right now, because Talvici is approaching a little bit of traffic. Let's see if the traffic is going to be.
Yeah, let's see if Karma's gonna hit again. I think this is the part where Bettini always struggles, and I think he's getting better and better at it. I mean, look at him as he's going up the hill. He's getting. I think he should have been. I think the pressure was playing on him, because he was always losing the rears when he was going up on that. I think we were not on. We were. So my mistake. That was Tony Talvici, and as we see, he always keeps his car as stable, as smooth as he can going up the hill, while Bettini always sliding. I mean, look at him right now, sliding those rears, and it keeps. I mean, if your tires are heating up, they heat up even more as he's lapping.
Wow. And this is a bit of time lost. Yeah, Bettini. I think that Bettini gave up 3 seconds away. Really unlucky. Traffic had proved to be the key for
I also think the pit stop played a huge role. As we start the last lap of the race with Tony Talvici leading by 2.5 seconds towards Bettini. Unless Tony makes a mistake, I think the deal has been sealed.
Don't say it, Lorenzo. Don't say it.
There's still the possibility that I say something for Tony and Tony fucks up. So
let's hope that's, of course, in a sportive way. Let's hope that this does not happen.
I won't say anything. So Tony,
Tony Talvici proving to be once again the most versatile driver, but I think we can all agree that the MVP award for today goes to Lorenzo Bettini, because he proved to be fast in his first outing here on SimRacingOnline, and what a great battle he gave us all the way till basically 2 laps ago. I think he deserves the MVP for today.
Absolutely, but he did a risky move. He said, "Okay, and right there, probably a useless risk right there, because the race is over." As we speak, I think that Talvici is crossing the line right now. Let's see. Yeah, it's on the main straight.
Talvici, he is the winner. Talvici wins the Pittsburgh round of the Winter GTE series, and what a great performance by Tony. Bettini is second, and rightfully so. Third comes Gutierrez in the other Porsche, so it's 1, 2, 3 for Porsche in GTE.
Even 4, because
Matt Horst with a great race. I think he's a debutant as well. There you see him in the Proton Dempsey Racing livery. With a great, I think it's a great performance by Horst. Once again, Horst and Bettini are the two guys that really made the race worth to watch. Vitiges in P6, currently with that beautiful Ferrari livery, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm satisfied by this race, and I cannot wait for the next one.
Absolutely.
And Vidi Guest, for me, wins the deja vu pit stop of the day because I never saw a pit stop with the with the car.
That should be a screenshot. I mean, you would think he's getting out of garage, but he's just getting his tires changed. I just don't want to sleep on Barry Erickson getting a P5. I'm happy for him. That's a position to be proud of. He always.
Ooh,
We see.
also,
Some
yeah.
rallycross GTE car.
Yeah, I mean, we could. He's definitely invited right now. He's definitely got his invite.
Yeah, it's one lap towards Coelho, so no problems for him. Michael Labelle,
Delivery.
protagonist of a big accident with Vidi Guest. What a race! It was a thriller until the end.
As we will show the order of the finish race of today. I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm gonna go ahead on it manually as we fix that later. We definitely had it. We have Tony Talviti right now, the winner of today's race. Congrats to him on getting P1, followed by Lorenzo Bettini on P2, Johnny Gutierrez on P3. Those are the podiums of today. Definitely feel sorry for Lorenzo Bettini on losing that lead after he worked so hard for it and had to lose it on a battle between him and Tony. But Gutierrez stayed in P3 all the way to the race, and he got the position he was meant to get for today for this race, unless things happened. But things happened not for his good thing. But Matt Horst is now P4, which will put him eventually P4 in the standings, and he finished P4 today, followed by Barry Erickson. A beautiful position for him. P5 as he usually always in the top leaders, followed by VD Guest. P6, rocking beautiful livery done by De Silva, and Joe Brown P7, followed by Peter Williamson, who we saw a lot of ups and downs with him in that Corvette, and definitely classic livery that I'm gonna be looking forward for the next races. Followed by Ed Jones P9. And Nick Newcomb on P10. Those are the top 10 positions. They had a great fight, but we go down to P11. We got Thomas Hosel, followed by Didier Coelho, Rob Milliken, Michael Labelle, and Stefan Wenham, who was responsible in a way. I would not in a personal way, I would say it, but just in a racing way that caused that switch in the position that happened between Tony and Lorenzo. But it turned out that was not enough to take away the win from Tony Talviti. What a race, what a results. Definitely looking forward to what's going to happen in the next race. Are you guys thinking the same thing?
Absolutely, and of course, this is lining up to be one of the closest competition yet on SimRacingOnline. So great battle today, great skirmishes between all the midfield, and I'm pretty sure with the great tracks that we are gonna get in this championship, it's gonna get even better. I think.
100%.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I mean, the rain made up some spice on this race. You know, um, it was a fun race. Probably not the, as I was saying at the beginning, not the best track. To be honest, not the best track, especially for the overtakes. But these guys were amazing on pulling out some really good stuff. Uh, let's hope that if this is the level of this championship, we are going to have a lot of fun.
Absolutely, as we have a VD guest who will be joined by us a little bit sooner. Next race, as I look through the calendar right now, it's going to be Detroit. Now, for that race, it looks like we have 26 entries, and hopefully they all show up because most of them they didn't purposely not show up, but they had RL or probably things to do, so they couldn't make it after they showed their excuse. But it's looking the stand-ins or the amount of people that will be for the next race. I presume it's going to be a lot more than we saw today, which was 15, and it's 26 entries for the next race. So I do hope we see all of the field here because that would be great to look at and witness. As we have a VD guest with us who had quite a race today that got him P6. I don't know if he's happy about it. What do you think, VD guest? Tell us what happened and how do you feel about today's result?
I don't know if he's happy with it. Well, sort of yes and sort of no, because I had a really good build-up in the first stint, and I overtook a few guys, and then I had set up my car for mixed conditions, for the wet and the dry. So I knew when the wet would come, I would be in better shape than in the dry because I had a mixed setup. And that showed because I went out in the wet. I pitted for wet tires and went out, and I pulled a gap. So I was driving my ass off to maintain that gap and to come out ahead when it was dry again. So I pitted for dry tires. When the dry line appeared, I pitted for dry tires. And as soon as I was in my pit box, someone behind me punted me in my pit box. And as soon as I stopped, he punted me, and I was sort of diagonal in the pit lane. I was knocked out of my pit box, but they still served me. And I had a 34-second damage extra time penalty. So that was a first for me to get damage in the pit box. And then later on in the race there, I caught up with a group of back markers, and in the final long stretch in the kink just before the braking zone, I was right alongside the back marker, and I believed he would make room for me because I already had flashed the lights. Please move over, and I believed he would make room for me, but he just turned in. He clipped me, and we both went sideways. So
Oh yeah, that was for
I
the incident.
yeah. So on top of that, I had to first. I was a bit pissed off because I thought, well, why don't you leave a bit of room so I can pass safely? But he just turned in, so I thought it was his mistake, but actually it was my own mistake because I should have been more patient and give him a little time to move over. So after that happened, I drove past the pit lane and I thought, well, what shall I do? And then I thought, no, I am the admin here. I have to give the good example. So a lap later, I came in to do my drive-through penalty for knocking that guy off the track. And then I was back in P7, and then Joe Brown pitted, and I was back in sixth. And then the gap was so big to Barrett Ericsson that I was just cruising because there was nothing left for me to do than to go to the finish. So that was my race. And it was bloody exciting too, don't you think so? Because
I
this track in the
I
wet, wow.
I absolutely do, John. I mean, I saw. I mean, there was a funny moment where your car was in the pit looking like in the wall instead of looking straight, which was actually funny because I think I was just wondering if he got damaged when he hit you and when he
Yeah,
clipped.
yeah.
You
I
did
was
get damaged.
explaining. Yeah, so
Mm.
I was in my pit box in the red square, and then I think he had worn rain tires, and he just misjudged the braking point. He just slid it into my back. I was knocked out of my, or half knocked out of my pitting square, and I had a 34-second extra damage.
When
So,
you served so how did you fix that?
well, it fixed it automatically because I was already in my pit box,
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Some
So,
next sense though.
yeah. So that was instant service.
Wow. Okay. So you're
But
definitely giving something for
wasn't that
drivers
a
to do
shame?
now.
I did all that work and then I got knocked out of my pit square, in the square of my pit box. You don't expect that, do you?
I did not. I definitely did not. I mean, what you're telling me right now, VDG, says I could get out of the Muppet, and while passing through other cars and I see my rival, I just bump him a little bit, give him some extra seconds while I'm leaving, and just,
Yeah.
blame it on the tires, maybe. Yeah,
I
just
also
a
had
joke, no, but people can do it. I know.
hmm, I had a
Indeed.
little incident with Nick Newcomb in the beginning of the race. So, for some reason, he was all of a sudden struggling a lot with the tires, I think. Maybe he had soft tires, and those degrade really quick. I don't know, maybe. But anyway, he was struggling with the pace, and then I went alongside him, and we drew level. And there was a little bit of door banging there, and I think he was a little bit mad at me because he flashed his lights at me when I passed him. But I still think it was a legitimate pass, so I didn't do a drive-through because, uh, yeah, I thought that was okay.
I mean,
It
you can
was
do the.
racing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't catch that. Maybe Ricardo did, I think.
yeah, we saw that. Probably the most difficult part, due to the traffic and the overtakes, were that the truck was really tight from what we saw and from what
Yeah,
I tried.
and it was in the braking zone, so
Yeah,
that yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
John.
go, yeah, go.
No, no, I was saying that we saw a lot of people struggling, especially with lap cars, which were really, we think the are really painful maneuvers to try to get the lap, the try to overtake lap cars. You felt that so?
Well, I didn't think they were very cooperative. In some were, and some weren't very cooperative in letting me pass. And the most extreme example was when I banged the door of that other guy in the kink just before the braking zone. Did you catch that moment?
Yeah, we catch that.
Ah, okay. So we went. I really thought he would. He had noticed me, and he had seen the blue flag, and he would make room for me to pass on the inside of that apex. But he turned in, and maybe it was a misunderstanding. But I blame myself because I should have been more patient. And I did my drive-through after that, so I followed the rules, and I still had a P6, so I'm not all that disappointed. It was a fun race, and that is also very important to have fun, isn't it? So points aren't all that.
Yeah, for sure, John. I mean, it was a great race. I mean, the lead was also on fire. Wish we had the chance to interview them, but from what I see, that Gutierrez said that he finally gets to get his coffee break. As Rob Milliken also said, 65 seconds of seeing repair took him out of the race because we saw him most of the rain session. He was driving with a bent steering wheel because I thought first
Oh,
that was a game thing or same thing to not trigger people, but it
that's damage.
it was damage indeed, and it took him about 65 seconds of repairing that damage. So
Oh.
yeah, we definitely know now why. And Lorenzo Battani was also asking if the race was broadcasted. Yes, it is broadcasted, and he was also excited. And
Can you read the chat in
yes, I
the
am
menu?
reading the chat. Yes,
Oh, okay. Well, next
indeed.
time I will wish you good luck on the broadcast.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we appreciate that. I mean, we enjoyed it. I mean, I'm also commentating and at the same time watching the race, just like anyone else, and it's very,
Ah,
very interesting to see the battles that happen, especially the lead and the switch. And I think also Lorenzo Bettini will be looking at what happened to him, because he lost a lot of time behind the cars when they were when he was fighting Tony Talviti and he was leading, which he lost about 6 or 7 seconds only
Wow.
because cars didn't leave him the way. And he was definitely flashing those lights. He had a lot of bad time and bad luck when he was
Yeah.
lapping traffic. Indeed, yes. As Rob Milliken also was congratulating others, and yeah, there were a mutual sportsmanship between Lorenzo Bettini and Tony Talviti. I was trying to give you guys all the insights of what happened after the race was over, and that was almost it. I mean, maybe one day we'll get to talk to Tony and the rest of the guys, but we have Nick right now, who's joined us just a
Can I
second
say one
ago.
more thing?
Absolutely, go ahead for it, VDS.
I have another insight. Johnny Gutierrez was driving handicapped, so maybe
How
he could
so?
have done better. Because he had a few days ago, he had his wisdom tooth pulled, and that didn't went so well. So he wasn't all 100%. So
So he had
I'm
his wisdom tooth removed.
yeah, and he got pretty sick from that. So
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
that influenced your performance, of course. So
Yeah, if I knew that, I would have wished him a well recovery and a speedy recovery, and we wish him right now a speedy recovery.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
okay,
that.
that's it for me. Next.
No. That was a great. That's thank you for letting us know, because we definitely didn't know that. So we
Mm,
definitely wish a speedy recovery to Johnny Gutierrez. Definitely the
yep.
championship of the last series. Great guy, great driver as well. As we appreciate the follow by.
Now I'm gonna get some flag now.
Go ahead, John. Enjoy it. P6. Definitely. Are you looking for the next race? Are you looking
Me?
forward to it? Yes, you, John.
Oh yeah, definitely. Uh, Belle Isle. That is Detroit where the Indy cars race. You know the track.
I
So
do. Yeah.
it's a temporary track with in the city with the walls close by. So that's going to be exciting. Looking forward to that one.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, John. We can't
Good
wait.
luck, John.
Indeed. Best of luck to you.
Okay.
As
So we
yeah,
have
go ahead.
Nick. Yeah, well, we have Nick right now. Nick, we saw you struggling a bit, probably with tire wear. How was the race, first of all?
Bad. Yeah, I got hit twice in the same corner. Thank you, John. I had to turn and you just like pumped us off. So I hit the grass and came off and came back on. But I think is it Peter Williamson? He just like dive bombed me for P8 and sent us off another major damage. So lost P9 and I ended up P10. But yeah, some pretty naive moves from Pete, like as far as I'm concerned.
Just so you're not that happy with the
Ooh,
general behavior, let's say.
no, I tried to make a move. Obviously, I got a good start, went up to P4, I think, and tried to make the move into P3, but got held up, and then there was a train behind that guy. I don't know who it was, but there was a train caused by him, and that sort of like flat spotted my tires a bit. But I don't know. Overall, it was pretty poor. Um, I just hope it gets a bit better, and there's not so many late moves and dives from way back when, like 2 weeks ago, into a turn, because it doesn't go for good racing, basically.
Yeah. What can you say about us about the? You were the first one to change the tires from the slick one to the rain one, and then the first one to move from the rain to the slicks. Were you trying to have the upper end at the beginning of the stint, or were you feeling like your tires were not
Well,
good anymore?
I was carrying damage from the first hit,
Okay.
so I was struggling, and then when the rain came, it was even worse. So I held on as much as I could, but I had to change. I was losing too much time, so I had to try and do something. So, and that's what I did. filled the car to the end and just went out. And I got P8. I came in P8 and took a couple of positions back up into P8 because I came out in P11, I think. So that went well, and I was holding P8 well. And then it's just a really bad move by Williamson into turn 2. Really bad. Knocked us straight off. Late move. Twisted round. And then the wheel was slightly pulling to the right, so I had to compensate for that, but there was too much damage, so I couldn't hold off and keep even P9, so I ended up P10. So yeah, we'll have a look at it.
Yeah, I think that was a race to forget for you, Nick. Definitely.
Yeah, it was all right. You know what I mean? P8 would have been a reasonable position. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I
for
would have
sure.
I would have took that, but to lose the P8 in the way it was, I wouldn't have minded if it was a straight on a fight. You know what I mean? But to just basically ram you off the track.
I was
Use
just
me.
expecting you to be all the way at the top. I mean, not expecting you as you have to do it, but like we usually see you at the top of the league.
I've
But
never
it
I've
looks
never
like,
touched this track before.
yeah,
This
yeah, I don't know it at all.
this track and rain is just you know what I mean, and the grip just, I don't know. It seemed the grip changed from corner to corner, lap to lap. So it was hard to gauge. It was hard to decide which wing to go with, everything. So you know what I mean. I remember I've driven at Belle Isle before, but that was in R Factor 1 days and GTR 2 days. So at least another track.
Indeed, I mean, I personally don't know the track, but I saw that those uphills. I think the man who was doing a great job was Tony because he always made it look like it's so easy, but behind him chasing Lorenzo was always going sideways, and which proved that that's not an easy job to do. But
Yeah.
indeed,
I honestly thought Lorenzo would win. Obviously, I think he went the pits first, like he was in P1 or something when the beginning of the race, I think. And then I was surprised to see Tony back in front. It must have been the pit stop. Tony must have jumped him in the pits. I don't know, but
you want spoilers, Nick, or you want to watch the live stream?
yeah, I'm gonna. No, I haven't watched it, so I'll watch the live stream tomorrow
Yeah,
when I get a chance. But I
yeah,
honestly thought Lorenzo was gonna win this one.
and that's what we thought. And then I think I'll leave. I don't want to spoil too much, but things happened. Things that happened that were not in favor of Lorenzo. Not that heavy, but I believe heavy enough to make him lose the position, which he
Okay, yeah,
indeed. But overall, do you expect better performance for the next race?
I hope so. I've got some work to do, obviously, understanding the car a little bit better, but I'll get that nailed down. You know what I mean? I'm quite happy. First GTE race, so we'll see. I think the each track will be different for each car. I think so. There'll be certain tracks like the Porsche was strong here. I think it'll probably be strong at Belle Isle, but when there's a more power oriented track, I think the Ferrari and the Astons will come a little bit closer.
Well, I certainly hope you get the position you expect to get. I mean, as a racer, I get you want to expect to
Oh
win,
yeah,
but
anything from 5 to 10 will do.
no, reality kicks in when you're actually in the track that I actually have to fight for this position, but you never take away from your mind that you can possibly win it if something goes. I mean, I should remind you that we have the two-time Barrett Erickson who won back to back, and he didn't get pulled those races. He didn't get the fastest lap, and he still won in the presence of drivers who were extremely fast and faster than him, respectfully, and he still grabbed the win two times consecutively back to back. So it shouldn't
Yeah,
never take away the fact that you could possibly win, neither you or John or anyone who's being participant in this series. So yeah, I want to see the best results for you and the rest of the drivers equally.
yeah. Thanks a lot. Just good. Thanks for the stream. I'll be watching it tomorrow and hopefully see what happens at the end and enjoy it.
Absolutely, I hope you do. We definitely did, and we hope the same for you, Nick. And John is still with us, so if you had any last words, this is the great time to say it.
Well, I'm sorry that Nick is a little bit upset with my move on him, and I'll have to look at the replay to see if he's right, and if he's right, I will definitely apologize. But at the time, my view was that I was level with him, and we were at door to door in the braking zone, and if I'm level with you and I'm next to you on the inside, you can't turn in. If you do turn in, you're going off. So, in my view, it was a legitimate racing move. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and then I will apologize. But I'll have to see the replay.
Now, that could be drama and that could be good. Hopefully it stays in a rational way. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to see what you guys gonna lead to this, because you have to see the replay. Nick believes that it wasn't legitimate, so you guys will have to sort this out probably in the forum. In which brings me back to the SimRacingOnline.co.uk, in which this series is happening. If you want to take part, you can go ahead and make an account for free. You have the option to donate if you feel like so, but it's all free. You can get to sign up. All you have to do is get the game, buy the pack, the GTE pack, and you're in to race. The all tracks, I believe, are free. Is that correct, John?
Excuse me, I wasn't thinking. I wasn't paying attention. What was the last
Oh,
part?
I just wanted confirmation that all tracks are free.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
only
yeah.
Monza.
No, no. There
No,
are
it's
no
the.
DLC. There are no
Oh,
DLC
perfect.
tracks. Only DLC are the cars, and all tracks are free.
So you heard that from the admin himself, John, who confirmed that all the tracks are free. If you want to take part, go ahead, make an account, join in, get the cars, get to know the guys. They have a forum. They have great guys who great sportsmanship is behind all of them, and everyone always looks to his attitude before they blame it on someone else. They all are respectful from what we've all seen from all series. We have never had any issues with that. And in fact, they have great rules that prevents problems and troubles from happening. So go ahead, check that out for yourself, and don't forget to check their YouTube channel as well. All our VODs are uploaded there. Everything we did before, you can go ahead, check that out. And you know what? If you liked it, how about you leave a subscribe? And whenever there's another video uploaded there, or our VOD that you watch live right now, you get to see it. And yeah, since we have clip features on YouTube, you could clip that out. And that brings me again to our Discord of our team, which you can go there and share with us, share a moment you saw, and maybe we could talk about it. And yeah, if you take part in it, you could be interviewed as well. So don't forget to do that. Follow us on our Twitch channel, join our Discord if you feel like it, and check out YouTube of SimRacingOnline. Subscribe, and yeah, I told you all the way to come in and have fun. So it's up to you right now watching. So if you feel like it, go ahead. And if you don't, stay with us. We have a lot of great series coming up. What you saw today is literally a fraction of what could be in the Rex Race, because we're expecting a lot of entries. We have about 27 entries, and I'm looking forward to see that. Yeah. So we appreciate John, and we appreciate Nick, who just left. Sorry, didn't lift anything. Just left for joining us for the interview. And we appreciate everyone else who is watching. We appreciate the follow by Matt H1990 in the live stream. If you're watching from the VOD, this is a live stream, or was a live stream. And thanks again for watching. We will definitely be here for the next race in Detroit. So look out for that. And to know more information, visit simracingonline.co.uk, visit our Discord, and you'll find all the information you need. Thank you very much. And we will see you in the next race.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
guys. Have a good
All
night.
right, guys. Bye bye.